Mode.
Hi, good morning. This is Ranjita here from the Environment Educational Unit, and we will be starting in a couple of minutes. So just hold on tight. We already have a question from Anu. Anu, thanks for your question. We'll be starting very soon. So just let's pause for a moment and just be patient. We are waiting for more people. 16 have already signed in, and there will be more signing in. So just hold on tight. Thank you. Sorry, you're listening to our conversation, but we are just working on our seating arrangement. We also have a visitor with us. We're just starting soon. Thanks, Rutu, for your question. We have all the answers for your questions in our presentation that we'll be sharing with you. So, it's great to have them, but we will be, we'll be answering all these questions shortly. But Ajanta, my colleague, is also responding to your questions on the question window. And if you can, if you can look to the little bar in your questions, you'll get the responses from Ajanta. So we also have a visitor, Santosh, here from Vidya Devi Jindal School. Yeah, Santosh happened to be in Delhi over the weekend, and he called up and requested us if we could join. We normally don't allow it. We made an exception here, not because we don't want, honor teachers, but it's just that our space is very small. And it's difficult to have everybody here. So Santosh is here, but again, like I said, it's an exception, and we normally don't entertain such requests. Thanks, Santosh. Yeah. Are you here on holiday? Or? Oh, okay. Okay. We're just waiting. We have like 20 teachers plus the 25. Now the volume started asking questions. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Welcome. We're now going to get started because we've got lots of ground to cover and we really need to dive deep. Last webinar that we had over 2.5 weeks ago, we did cover a lot of questions, but since then we've received quite a few queries and we thought why not have a webinar to address. A lot of schools have already started the audit. In fact, we have Santosh from Vidya Devi Jindal who started the audit. His students, he has already formed teams in the school and they've started the audit. And for him, it's rather simple. So I hope it's a good, encouraging note for you also. I just want to say that, I would like to introduce my colleagues, Ajanta and Sanchita.
Hi, Ajanta here.
Hello, Sanchita here. Yeah, some of you may be familiar with them. Those who attended our workshops in Delhi would have met with Ajanta, Sanchita, and myself. And in the webinar, you will hear their voices, but they are also here to answer your queries. So just before we start, I just want to tell you some housekeeping rules. Send us your questions in the question bar. We've already received quite a few questions, and we will be responding to it while going through the deck, while going through the PowerPoint, and at the same time, Ajanta has taken the lead in answering the questions. In case the line drops or you have problems in hearing, please dial my colleague Rakhi. Her mobile number is 81-300-41469. If you cannot hear me properly, please contact my colleague Rakhi. Her number is 81-300-41469. Ajanta has also keyed it in, so please use that number in case you have any audio problems. We don't have the webcam on, so there are two things that you will see on the screen. There is the deck, there is a PowerPoint, and then we also have the audit portal, right? So I'll just show you both before we get started. Yeah, so we are going to the, we're going to the audit portal in a moment. Yeah. So just a second, we will just go there. Yeah, so this is the audit portal. That's the mock one. I've only completed 15% of the survey. So if you go to the top, it'll show you the bar as you keep progressing on the audit portal. So we will be switching between the PowerPoint presentation and the audit portal. I hope you have all signed in and can see the audit portal. Please keep your password, your username. If you haven't received it, do send an email. We will share our email details at the end of our PowerPoint presentation. The presentation will also be sent to you by Rakhi, either tomorrow or day after. So moving on to the PowerPoint, we'll just switch to the PowerPoint. Yeah. So going to the next slide. I just wanted to share with you, we have close to 1,000 schools who are registered for the audit. Many of them have already started. Wherever we have a state partnership, you'll see a spike. So, for example, in the north, we have partnerships with Himachal Pradesh and Punjab and Delhi. In the east, we have with Odisha, which again has the largest number of schools participating. In the northeast, we have a partnership with Sikkim. So these, and of course, we now have to work. Many schools have signed from South, West, Central, but we also are looking to have partnerships in these states so that we can have many, many more schools participating. Moving on to the next slide. I just want to share with you some tips, right? First of all, you have to form teams. And when you form teams, and if you enter your name in the audit portal, the good thing is that, the bar will move. Forming teams is the easiest. So please start right away form teams for each of the sections. The sections are air, food, energy, land, water, and waste. We have 6 sections with a focus on waste, but even then, all the other 5 questions are being asked. For all the other 5 sections, you need to answer it by forming teams. Completely objective type of questions. That's the easiest way because, again, you start progressing on the bar. Each section, except for waste, which is kind of extensive, the other 5 chapters have very easy questions, so start filling those. Then, for example, in the water or the land section, there is some work that needs to be done. You need to monitor over a period of time, which means that, starts next week. And, most schools have exams this week, and then you have a long weekend break. So next week, identify the questions which you can finish fast, and then work on questions that needs monitoring over a period of time. In each section, you'll find 2 tips. Now, what do I mean by tooltips? Tooltips are the question marks against each, against some questions. There are some questions that are tough, so there is a question mark. So please click on that question mark to get an, to take help. Yes, we already had a question from Anu, I think, where she said, can we work on two sections simultaneously? You certainly can work on two sections simultaneously. You can save. If you have a button that says save and resume later. I made a mistake. I said save and submit later. It should be save and resume later. So you can either save and resume later, or if you go to the audit portal, on the top of the bar, you have the sections. You can navigate between the top tabs. So Ajanta is just going to take us to the audit portal, and she will just show you. Yes. So for example, you have you have the air section. I have filled some questions. I can go to the energy section too simultaneously, but my information in air or the previous chapters will be saved. Right, so it's easy for you to fill. I'll just take a pause here. Yes, Ajita is pointing to the save and resume later. So you can save and resume later and come back, say, in the next period, or tomorrow, for instance. I would also like to bring to the point that we have something called upload supporting documents. Right now, for example, in this section, we are asking about renewable sources of energy. We may, you may want to upload your electricity bill, your diesel bill, etc. So just scan these documents, and you can upload files. Click on upload files. Your documents will be uploaded. If you have photographs, like for example, Delhi College in Indore, they have windmills in their school. It's a very, I think it's a school that is more than 100 years old, and they have acres and acres of land, so they do have windmills, and you want to share the photographs with us. The photograph size should not be more than 500 KB. Right? So remember, these instructions are given everywhere on the audit portal. And if you have your manual, it's even better, because the manual does have extensive and additional information. So with the manual and the audit link, you will be able to sail very smoothly and very fast through the audit to meet the deadline. We had another query. So we had another. We'll just switch to the PowerPoint now. While Ajanta is switching to the PowerPoint, we had another question saying that what is the deadline of the audit? The deadline is October 31st of this year, right? So please remember, the audit has been simplified, right? The audit has been simplified. You have to finish each section, but these are objective type of questions. Majority of them are objective type questions with one or two which requires work. So please monitor over a period of time, stagger yourself, and you will be home very quickly. At the end, when you finish all the sections, right, there will be a button which says save and submit now. You can hit the submit button. There will be a feedback form, so please complete the feedback form too, because we are very, very interested in knowing what you felt doing this audit online. Again, to many of the schools who have participated earlier, right, you will notice there were a lot of calculations. We have removed the calculation because you're now online. So which is why we keep saying this is not as complex as previous years. It's a much simplified version, and we need your data because this will help us, monitor or at least help us with policies for schools in the coming years. Once you sign up, like I said earlier, we're focusing on waste. Next year, we'll probably look at waste again, or it could be another section called water. Water again will have more questions, but each year you will have to fill each section. Also, it will be easier for you because if you have answered all the questions in online, this will be populated for next year. So you don't have to fill all the data again unless there are changes, right? So, so these are the tips that I would like you to remember. Now, we will just go on to the next slide. How do we get started? Many of you have already got your password, your username. If you don't remember, please send emails to Ajanta, Sanjita, and myself, or Swati, our colleague. Swati will send you the entire, she'll send you your password and username, and you can get started. This is a page that you come to when you need to start work on the audit portal. Right? My number is given below. Please feel free to call me anytime, and I will respond to your queries. Now, I know I just got a mail saying that we cannot see the slides. We're trying to find out, Vidhi, why can't you see? We have we have around 40 people. Vidhi, can you see the slide now? Okay, wonderful. We are moving between the slide. Just to repeat once again to those who just joined in. We are around 40 people now. We started with 5 or 6, and with Santosh sitting with us here from Vidya Devi Jindal School. I just want to say that just to repeat something, repeat what I said earlier. The deadline is October 31st. You have to do all sections of the audit. Waste is the primary focus, but if you fill the other sections, it will auto-populate for next year. The audit is free, registration is free, and again, we will be switching between the PowerPoint and then going to the audit portal, right? So now moving on to the next slide. The next slide is, the school profile. If you can see on the top, it says the school profile. You need to fill details here. Again, it's fairly simple. We just need a coordinator's name. Against the coordinator's name, you'll see a question mark. That is the tooltip. Right, so that is the tooltip, and it will tell you, what it stands, or what does it mean. Fill in all the details. Again, these are very simple. You can ask one of your students to fill it and complete it. Once you finish the school profile, move on to the next session, which is general questions. Right? We move to the next slide. Yeah. Just one more question. One more. I'd like to touch on question 15 of the school profile. We have asked for the category of the school. Why do we need this? Because the whole audit is tied to the to the capacity of the school. How many, it's tied to the per capita, or the number or the population in your school. So if your school is a day scholar, then obviously the consumption of resources is going to be less. If it's a residential school, then it's going to be much more. Now, if it's a combination, then you need to click. If it's a combination of day scholar and residential, then you need to click 2. We also received a query from a teacher saying that besides, their school is up to grade 12, but they also have a college there. Do they include those students too? So we told her that no, please do not include those students, because they are of a different age group, which means their consumption is different. What Bureau of Indian Standards has laid down is for school children is very different from what college students require. So if your school has a college attached to it, then please do not include those students. So so then there are a couple of arrows here. If you can see, you have the arrow pointing to the tooltip. Then you have an arrow for next, and then you have an arrow for save and resume later. You can click on any one of these to proceed further. We come on to the next tab called General Questions. Again, these are very simple. We just want to know how many grades are there in your school. If it's pre-primary, it could be nursery, kindergarten, upper KG. You can just have one block for pre-primary. And then if your school is just from middle school, then click from 6th onwards. So we have put these buttons for you to choose, because across India is a very diverse country. We cannot have one system for all. So please feel free to select the grades that applies to your school. So, so these are simple questions that we have. We have the Board of Education. If you have more than one, then click on those. It could be the state board. You could have an ICSC and a CBSE together, or an IB, click that. If you have any other, like an open school for children below 18, children from the age of 18 and below, click on that. So, so then moving out to the next tab, we go to the next slide. which are again, I just covered this, which is general questions. Moving on to the next slide, I'll just take on to the next slide. Uh, I've covered all this. Another question that we've asked is total population of the school, which is, we need to know, like I said earlier, it's tied to the capacity, tied to the population. So please fill this. If you're doing it online, this auto-populates. You don't have to give us the total number. Is your school in the urban area or rural area? We have given there is a tooltip giving the definition. It's as per Census 2011. So please select whether your school is in urban or rural area. Then, forming teams, right? We need to form a team. Every section you can form your own team. If it's say the air team, you may need the transport in charge. If it is the energy team, you may need the diesel generator in charge. If it's a land, for land chapter, you may need to form a team with your Mali or your gardener. And then you need to have 5 to 10 students with a teacher to monitor and guide the students. So that is what the audit team is. Now, moving on, I hand over to Ajanta, who will take you to the next section.
Hi, everybody. Next section, the first section which you see on the portal is air. And the most important aspect of air chapter is, of course, the air quality. How do you commute to school daily? And then if your school have vehicle, then what is the health of your vehicle? Okay. So the first thing is air quality. The old schools who have done this audit before would practice of just seeing where there is cross ventilation or not. But this year, we have changed a bit, and now you will have to ensure that all the openings are windows and doors, okay? So they are in proportion. What is the proportion is mentioned in your manual. And for this exercise, you have to select 10 classrooms. If you have primary, middle, secondary and senior secondary, select 2 classrooms each from every section. And if you have only 6th till 6th or till 10th, then it's your choice that in which tier you want to add classes. But we need measurements of minimum 10 classrooms. And it should have all representation from all the sections. Second important thing in air quality is that you have to see that the doors and the windows, which we call openings, are minimum 5% of the floor area, right? And for this exercise, you can take help of maths teacher who will do this under area chapter of mathematics. Moving to second, commuting practice. Now this is a survey. You have to plan it properly. Like Ranjita said during introduction, that there are few questions which is just yes and no, and there are few questions which you will have to plan. So this is one of them, because you will need data of all the population of your school, right? Teachers, non-teaching staff, students, principal. And if you see on our web portal, there is list of vehicles which is given, and it is also given in the manual. If you open air section, there are list of vehicles which are given, right? It's on page number 15. Bus, school bus, public bus, school transport, everything. And when you add the number of people traveling by that mode, it is auto-populated. The total will come, and the system will automatically calculate your grades or points. Now last but most important again, first you will have to on the portal select that whether your school has vehicle or not. If you don't have vehicle, you don't have to fill this section, and the question won't show up. But if you select that we have vehicles, then a new section shows up on the web portal, and then you have to feed this table. And you will have to tell us how many vehicles do you have? What fuel are you using in that vehicle? Whether it's a bus, in bus it is a CNG bus or a diesel bus. You will also have to tell us what is age of your vehicle. And for this you will have to again contact the driver bhaiya or the conductor bhaiya. And they usually have a logbook. So every detail is mentioned in the logbook. Plus the RC also comes with your vehicle. So you can also refer to that. You will have to be very sure that whether PUC certificate is there or not. This is not for one vehicle. Every vehicle needs a PUC certification. Parking area. PSE has an agenda of, of no congestion on roads, and we are fighting for parking area. So you only buy vehicles if you have parking area. And being responsible for school sector, our team is trying hard to tell schools or motivate schools, make them aware, sensitize that parking area is most important when you have vehicle. And last but not least, whether your vehicles are air conditioning system or not. Okay, so you just have to click yes and no. And like Ranjita mentioned, the system of uploads. So you might receive maybe 10 or 20 blank on web portal, but if you have more buses, we know school who have 43 buses. So what they will have to do, copy the same format on Word document, enter all the details and upload it. And the upload button is towards the end of air section page on the web portal. Moving to next slide. Like I mentioned, the survey, you have to take this and the population which you need to cover is students, teaching staff, non-teaching staff. In short, every person who comes to your school and stays there for 6 to 8 hours should be part of this. Do not enter the migratory population, parent teachers coming to school and all. Okay. Next slide. We are starting with energy. So if you have question for air, you can put it in question section and we will answer it later. Starting with air, starting with energy, sorry. In energy, we are seeing two main things. One is your consumption and one is your main source. And remember, only two because this is not the focused area. When we come for energy, then we'll have more questions for this. But these are also compulsory questions. So, in energy consumption, you will have to contact your admin department and get hold of each kind of bill for each kind of fuel that you are using. If you're using electricity, if you need a bill. If you're using petrol, you need bills. If you're using LPG cylinders, you will have bill. So you will have to collect all the bills and you will find out the consumption based on that. For petrol and diesel, you will again have to go to the conductor bhaiya or the transport in charge of your school. Now, see in detail the slide where we are asking your consumption. And the moment you put your consumption quantity that you're using in the first column, the second column will auto-populate because the second column is constantly converting your fuel into megajoules, which is the unit we are using for energy. And in the last column, you will have to mention the type of use. Now, what is type of use? For example, electricity from the board. Now, electricity is not only used in school for lighting purposes. Even your housekeeping staff will be using it. Your cooking staff will be using it if they are using induction cookers. And your transport will be using electricity to some extent. And the most important, even teaching learning aids, they are using energy and they are using electricity, right? And if electricity is not there, you will be dependent on generator. So you will have to mention the type of use. But remember, you don't have to key in. You don't have to write transport like TRAN. You will have to write number 4 for transport. And there is a tooltip. And you can see that you will have to write number 1 for lighting. You will have to write 2 if you're using electricity for housekeeping. Okay? This field is only numerical. Please keep this in mind. Let us move. Okay, Ranjita is pointing out a question. And the question is, ours is a primary as well as secondary school, but under different names. So will our audit be done together? If your school is registered under different names, then it's two different schools. But if you're using the same building, then it goes one school. Next one is food, and I'll hand over it to Sanchita.
Hi everybody. For the under the food section, we are focusing, as Ranjita said, we need to form the team first. The audit team will have 5 to 10 students and the teacher coordinator. The coordinator may be a science or a home science teacher. So under their supervision, the team can be formed. And under this section, we are focusing mainly on three major questions. Firstly, we are focusing on what is the food service in your school, like whether you have a canteen. If you do not have a canteen, whether the school provides a midday meal, we have to mention that. Then the third task focuses on what kind of food is being served or sold inside or outside your school, and the fourth is what kind of food does your school promote. So we are focusing on these three major areas. So on the task 2, we are focusing on whether the school has canteen or not, or whether the school serves midday meals, or students are bringing lunch from their home, and if they are bringing lunch from the homes, whether they are packaged food or what kind of food they are bringing from home. So here in the table you can see we are asking what kind of food is being served in your school. It can be snacks, savory snacks like kurkure, Cheetos. We have to write here what kind or the varieties of food is being found. Then we have got various categories like noodles or potato fries or confectionery items. You have to populate the data like what kind of things are available or the variables. Then we have to enter the total number of items sold in a month in the canteen, and then we have to say like what kind of food items were being sold in the month. So you have to populate the table like this. Coming to the next, now coming to the next section, that is land. We again have to form the team, and the supervisors can be a biology or a geography teacher. Under this section, we are answering 4 critical questions like the critical areas of your school campus. So here in this table you can see we are asking you the ground coverage area, the open area, service area, and the service parking area. So you have to find the area of your school with the help of the team, and then you have to populate the area in square meters. Then turn to page 62 for explanations for details. You can also turn to page 27 in the manual for details and the description given. Now coming on to the built-up area or the constructed area of your school, you can refer to the description, and under the description you have to enter the school's area in square meters. Next slide. Then coming on to the number of species of plants and animals in your school, we are focusing on the biodiversity, flora and fauna, and the native and the exotic species of plants and animals. You have to enter the number. You just have to enter the number into this column in the table, and then we have to find out whether the school uses pesticide or not. Is it a chemical-based pesticide the school is using? So this is about the land section. Now coming on to the next section, that is water. For water consumption, we have to choose the audit team, and in this team, we are again forming the team with the help of the science or the social science teacher. And in this section, we are asking like various tasks like how much water does the school use or consume per day in liters. The consumptions can be done with the help of this method mentioned here, the bill method, monitoring the overhead tanks, You can measure how much water is being utilized. Then also using the motor method. All this method you can go through. It is also there in the manual in detail. Uh, then we are coming on to the source, supply, and storage of water. Whether the school falls, whether the school utilizes surface water, groundwater, or the stored water, rainwater, we have to mention that. And then who is the supplier? Like whether the municipality is supplying the water, or whether it's a panchayat or it's a private supplier, or the school uses its own supply for using this water. So you have to mention all these details in the table mentioned. And whether the school gets 24/7 supply of water or not. So you have to answer all these questions. Now coming on to the storage tank, whether you have a storage tank or not, all these things you have to focus. Now coming on to the plumbing section. Plumbing and sanitation facilities, access and availability, whether whatever things is available like the drinking water taps, how many drinking water taps in your school have, the ablution tap, that is the taps meant for washing the hands, the number of urinals, number of water closets in the school, you have to mention and write all these details in the table mentioned in the portal. And for all this, we have a tooltip given for any queries, any like confusion. You can also refer to the tooltip. Then how much? Then coming on to the next, that is how much does the school harvest rainwater in millimeters? You have to mention. Then average annual rainfall in your area. How much rainfall you are getting, that you have to measure, and you can also contact the Met department in your region so that you know accurately how much rainfall the area receives, and then the number of rainy days in your area, and if your school have a rainwater harvesting system. If it doesn't have, then you can mention no, or if it has, you can mention that yes. And then coming on to the next section, that is how much does the school reuse or recycle the wastewater. Does your school generate the wastewater? If it is, then how much the wastewater is being reused? And some schools are also using the reused wastewater for development of the green area. So this is all about water. If you have any queries, please send in your queries and we'll answer your questions. Thank you.
So Sajanta back again to from Sanchita, taking over from Sanchita to talk about waste.
Now in waste, as you all know, that waste is the focus section. So you have more questions in waste section, and the sections are also pretty long. Okay, but it's very easy because what we are asking for is only information and evidence. Okay, and like Ranjita mentioned earlier, and we keep mentioning that we have done away with calculations. So it will be all the more easy. Now, in the slide you can see that waste segregation system and waste recycling or treatment system is just an yes and no question. So if you have the practice in your school, you say yes. If you don't, say simply no. And if you say yes, there will be few more questions which will come up, right? Like if you have the systems, if you segregate waste, then you say yes, then it will ask the second question, then who segregates the waste? The students segregate the waste in the classroom, which is the source at source, or is it segregated by the housekeeping staff later on? But there are few sections which need lot of attention and lot of hard work. For example, waste generation. Now this is a survey type question. Why? Because definitely you will have different varieties and kinds of waste in your school, right? In the manual also we have given you tips that what kind of waste is available in the school and where is it available, right? And on the web portal also there is a column where we have all listed down that plastic, paper waste, horticultural waste, biomedical waste, glass, wood, metal. So you will have to keep this list ready. Part of waste audit team will concentrate only on waste generation activities. So they will run around the school, they will contact the store manager of your school and ask where the waste is stored, how much waste is stored. Now, you will have to do, like, get your hands dirty, not literally, but you will have to at least weigh the waste which has been generated. But always remember, teachers, you are responsible for students, so please see to it that they are wearing proper gears, like they have mask when they weigh the waste, they have gloves, everything. Old school will realize that we have added a very new section which is called e-waste. Now, why we have done, because slowly and steadily the urban area is facing a lot of problem of e-waste and the sudden mushrooming of mobile phones, and even now 11, 12 standard students are also using these phones. Plus, if we see a school setup, we have a lot of e-waste. Remember, even a wire which comes out of your phone machine or your air conditioner, it's e-waste. Okay, so you will have to list down all the e-waste which is generated in your school. We are also asking what are the type of waste which is generated, which I have already answered: paper, plastic, glass, leaves, everything. And please, if you have more questions, do write to us.
So now, moving towards the end, I just want to, before I conclude, we got a lot of questions, so we will be going through all the questions one by one. So we'll take each one, before we end. There have been questions saying that what is the file size? There was a question, I think, from Asha, who said that what do we do? Earlier we used to send documentation, so what do we do now? So I think I responded also saying that we want to go paperless. That's our long-term ambition, that all schools submit their audits online. So we hope that whether it's proof to authenticate what you have said, please upload. You can send in videos, you can send in photographs, and the size shouldn't be more than 500 KB. So use that. If you can see on the slide, there is on the audit portal, there's something called upload files. Here you can upload all your documentation, and then you can click on the button which says, we also have a Green School Awards. If you would like to participate, click on that button here and then submit. So this in short is what the GSP audit is about. Yeah, so we will, after, Raki, our colleague, will send you the PowerPoint presentation, which has all our details. There was also a question, you can contact any one of us. There is myself, Ranjita, I have Sanchita, Ajanta, and Swati. All of us can be contacted. Our details are given. This will also be part of the PowerPoint that we send to you. I would also like to add here, there was a question that said, where do we buy the manual from? We will insert a slide which says who is the person to be contacted, if you want to buy the manual. The manual costs 140 rupees, courier charges are 70 rupees, so it's around 210. That you need to send to us. We will send you the details for the DD or check. But even if the manual doesn't arrive, please get started, because we're already end of September. The deadline is October 31st. Asha asked a question saying that would you extend the deadline? Asha, we wouldn't like to extend the deadline because it's also season based. This is the time where where the rainfalls are finished in most parts of the country. We are going into cooler climes. Children, it's one semester has ended or going to end. So let's try to finish. My request to all of you is to finish the audit by October 31st. So try it. I mean, I don't know if you have gone through the audit links. It's not complex, it's easy, and if you have questions, please do call us. Yeah, so we're just switching on to the audit portal page while we take you through the questions. So one moment. So we are on the audit portal page also, and I'll just take you. Let's go through the questions one by one. Please send, how can we make a campus eco-friendly is a question that we heard. Why? By doing the GST audit. That's the easiest answer. So, so please get started, Manju. Start the audit, and your campus will be green. change does not happen overnight. It will take time. But if you can, give yourself a 5-year horizon, and by 2019, which is the conclusion of Swachh Bharat mission, you will have a green campus, right? Then let's see. Yes, Vidhi, we will send the instructions to all. I'm taking another question now. Uh, so let's take a look at, another question that I haven't answered. Uh, there's a question saying, while going through the audit online, can I proceed to the next page or section without completing one section? Yes, like all three of us said earlier, you can certainly go to another section. You can, if you buy the manual, you can take photocopies of the manual, give it to different teams, and the data can be entered at one go. If you don't have the manual, that is not a problem. You can open one section, finish it, of, part finish it, and then go to the next section by going to the tab. On top of the page, you will see school profile, general questions, air, energy, food, land, water, waste. You can click on any one section. Try to finish as many questions possible. If you don't have answers, you can move to the next tab by going to the top. If you want to log out, please remember to click at the bottom of the page. We have a button called Save and Resume Later, right? So this is what this is what you can do. Another question is, Kanika asked a question saying that should we submit the online data? Yes, we just going to provide the link to you. It's the greenschoolsprogram.org/audit. Yeah, this will also be added to the presentation, and you will get it. Then how do we send supporting documents? Like I said earlier, please, there is an upload button. Rubina, all you need to send is click on the upload files, and you will be able to upload all the supporting documents. You can send in your photographs, you can send in your bills, but it should not exceed 500 kg. That's so time and again. We also have FAQs on our website. If you don't have the manual, you will have the FAQs, so you will be able to answer that. Now let me see another question. Should be a minimum. Okay, data. Good question, Kanika. Data should be of minimum how many days? Well, it depends. For water, we are monitoring over a period of 3 weeks. For waste, again, it is over a period of 3 weeks. So if you go through the online audit, like I said earlier, identify questions which are objective type, finish those. Identify questions which require monitoring over a period of time. Like there are few questions in the waste chapter. There is one question or two questions in water, in energy, in air. Right? So identify those questions, look at the timelines, and finish it. It normally takes around 3 weeks. Yeah. Then let me look at another question. Suraj Gan has asked, we are running a boarding school with 3 mess. So what should we write in this column? Now, Suraj, which column? Is it in the food topic? I assume, because you're talking about a canteen, I assume it will be in the food section. I don't like. I'm going to the manual and I'm looking at the food questions to see if I can answer your question. Our question is, does the school have a canteen? All you have to do is answer yes. We haven't asked a question, how many canteens does your school have? That will come when we're focusing on the food section. This year, like I said, we're focusing on waste, which means waste have exhaustive questions. When we focus on the food chapter, then we will ask questions like, how many canteens does your school have? Ajanta wants to add a point. Go ahead, Ajanta.
Suraj Khan, remember in the profiling question, we are also asking you whether you are a residential school or not, right? So there also, if you select yes there, then we are definitely expecting that you will have more of food waste. So if I answer your question.
Yeah, yes, thanks, Ajanta. Yeah, like she said, the questions, it's a very smartly done audit. Questions are interlinked. So if you, like Ajanta rightly said, if you have a residential school, then we know that you will have more than one canteen, which means, the waste generation could be more, the water consumed for cooking will be more. So your points, the way we rate you will be according to the according to what you fill in the general section and the school profile. Yeah. So again, to reiterate, we have 10 minutes more. Again, to reinforce, please, you need to complete all sections. Otherwise, your audit will not be accepted. Now, I'll look at another question. Okay. We have a question saying somebody joined us, Rubina joined the session late. Is it possible to see the video tutorial? Yes, Raki will send you the video links after in a day or two. Please take a look at the, please take a look at the video tutorial. Again, to repeat, Kiran, I think I've answered this question many times. The deadline remains on 31st October 2015. So please remember, you still have time. The audit is not complex. Questions should be easy to respond. You will be able to complete it. Yeah. So most of the questions what I'm seeing is more or less the same as to what we have answered. Questions range from deadline, whether the link will be sent, where is the manual available, can you work on sections simultaneously? One question that was different was from Suraj, which says that we are a residential school, so how many canteens do we have? So a couple of things again I would like to remind you. We are available for calls. Our mobile numbers will be sent to you. Please do call up. I would like to say the deadline is October 31st, and I would like to thank all of you for being here, because if you have taken time out to attend this webinar, we know that you care about the environment. We will be, in a month or two, we'll be also launching a community for teachers. And we want teachers like you who have taken time, who know about the environment, to participate and share your good ideas. Once again, I would like to say that the audit is for 5 years. Each year we'll be focusing on a topic. The topics, we still haven't decided what topic it could be for next year. It could be waste, or it could be water, it could be land, it could be food. But please do fill. Like we had another question that said, how can we become a green campus? I'll answer this question. How can we be a green campus? By doing the audit. Another beauty about going online is that you will get a report card, and you will be able to improve by tracking your performance. This report card will be available online for you only. If you want to make it public, you can, but we will send it privately to you, and we will tell you how to improve. Where can you catch water? How much water can you save? How much waste can you reduce? If your school is generating much more waste than the number of population, then we will guide you on how to recycle or reuse that waste. Right? We have 7 more minutes to go. Yeah. Any last questions? Any questions? Yeah.
Just now you said that
right. Okay. So, Santosh, a visitor from the Vidyadevy Jindal School, has said that, we have at the end of the submit, we have said, if you would like to sign for the awards, please click on the button. Well, the Green Schools program, the GSP program, was launched way back in 2006, and in 2008 we launched the GSP Awards. So these awards are given to the best performing schools in the area of environment. Should you like to participate for the awards, please do join. It will be wonderful to share the best practices of what you have done. So we have a lot of fun doing it, and I hope you will also have fun doing it. And most importantly, you will sensitize the children about being friendly to the environment and making it sustainable. Yeah. Okay.
Now, I have completed 3 sections, and
yeah.
I just on next one.
Right.
That is okay, or
yeah.
Same or
okay. So if you have completed one section completely, then you can click on the next button. I'm taking a question from Santosh here. He's asked that, if I have completed one section, can I click on the next button to go on to the next? Yes, you certainly can click on next to go to the next section, but if you haven't completed the section, it will not allow you to go. So a smarter way would be to go to the top of the audit portal, click on energy or food, and then go on to the next section if you haven't completed one. So this has been a great webinar, and it's been great. We have some great questions, and again we had close to 50 participants. We also do workshops in the month of May, June. So if you teachers would like to join in, we will be putting it up on our website. That's for next year. But we will probably have another webinar if you have any questions by mid-August. Yeah, then you can submit. Bhanu had a question. Bhanumati had a question saying that what is the format of the audit report? Ma'am, there is no format. All you need to do is finish the questions online. We have the online link is www.greenschoolsprogram.org/audit. Finish the link, and you have your format ready. We will send you the format. Yeah. uh, so then so I think we've completed all. I just saw one question which I think I haven't answered. Once uh, okay. There's one question that I saw it and I was like, I haven't responded, but if we haven't responded to any questions, while we will send you an email. Okay, there's a question here saying that most of the photographs may be more than 500 KB. Well, in that case, you can compress it and PDF it and scan it and then upload it, send it to us. Yeah, there is a zip file option also that you can use. So there are a variety of ways that you can do to compress to lower the resolution of your pictures. Monthly bills are it could be 2 months or 3 months. Please look at, we've given the instruction in the audit, online audit as well as the manual. Different sections require different bills, so please take a look at that. Okay, so it's been a good one, and I think हमारे लिए भी अच्छा है कि that you're participating. There's been a lot of interaction from all of you, but yes, attending the webinar, it does not stop here. We also need you to participate. Send us, because most of the schools are doing great. Have great initiatives, and we would like to share nationally. And of course, being rated by Center for Science and Environment, CSE, is very prestigious. So if you are a green school, a resource-efficient school, we want to amplify that and share it with everybody. So please, so please sign up, complete the audit, and send to us. Pushpa wanted to know how many months does it take. Pushpa, we opened the audit way back, I think, end of July. So there were 2 months and over, but we're already end of September, so now you have a month. It can be done within a month too. Yeah. Okay, so I think we have answered everything. We will be sending it to you. So good luck, and thanks everybody for joining in. Yeah, take care and have a great day. Bye.
Bye. Bye.